Hello, in this video we're going to be talking about the internal components and structures of the brain. So let's not waste any of your time. Let's get right to it. Now when we're talking internal structures, what we're going to be looking at is from the outer surface down into the white matter, the different things that are going on. And number 2 and 3 on your screen, that's really what we're leading up to, the basal nuclei and the limbic system, and what they're responsible for as far as functions, because that's going to be a major part of the next 2 videos, because we're talking memory and we're talking emotions. Okay, so those 2 things, huge parts of what's going on. But the 3 main sections where this gray matter is the cerebral cortex, as I mentioned. It's all that stuff on the surface, but then the basal nuclei and the limbic system, and the importance of those 2. All right. Continuing with the cerebral cortex, as you can see, they're not very thick. Okay, not nearly as what you would think, but it houses important stuff, as we talked about all along the brain, those different areas that are controlling the different functions. I mean, everything that we do, from writing to speaking to thinking to remembering, it's all got a different component. It's almost like at a mall when you got all these stores, and each store has a different direction or emphasis. You know, purses or clothes or pets or science or education or soaps and whatever. And where each store emphasis, that's where that stuff goes. It's kind of what the cerebral cortex is all about. But as you can see, got a bunch of neurons. But again, remember, the cerebellum has over half of them. So if that's how much the cerebral cortex has, just think how many the cerebellum has as far as numbers. 40% of the mass. Remember, the cerebellum was only 10% of the mass, but 50% of the neurons. Alright, hey, here I am over here in the middle. I know I moved, just as you can see, the amount of text, or the type of, not type, but the where it landed, it fits me better over here in the middle. And then we had to make the picture fairly small too as well, but you've already seen it twice, and again in your book, in the PowerPoint. But the 2 things you want to recognize here is the 2 types of cells that are here, that are found in this section. The stellate, which is more like a star pattern. It's got the soma in the inside, and then dendrites going from all directions, because it has to connect with so much stuff in so many different directions. That's the kind of way to think about that. And the pyramidal cells, which are like a pyramid kind of thing. Oh, there you go, that's better. But tall, cone-shaped. The satellites stay local. It only receives local information and passes it locally. Where the pyramidal cells, those drape down into the other ends and leave the cortex and do connect with other places. Alright, so the basal nuclei, pretty complicated area, and not everything about it is fully known, but we do know that it plays a huge part in like starting motions, stopping motions, and monitoring voluntary movements. So the things that you do, moving around, the basal nuclei is keeping track of that, and helping to understand that process. Whereas on the other hand, the limbic system was not so much it's involuntary or voluntary, but it houses, or it's responsible for things that are part of the mystery of the brain as far as when you look inside of it, because you don't see any areas where you would think, okay, there's my memories or there's my emotions. Okay, unlike what if you've ever watched the Netflix series Lock and Key, when you can go inside the brain and find those files, that would be pretty cool to be able to do and to relive those good ones, like the Oakland A's Royals 2014 wild card game. That'd be fun to sit through that again live. But hippocampus, memory, amygdala, emotions, those are the two areas of the limbic system. And again, we're going to deal with those more in the next two videos. Well, that's our video over the internal components of the brain. When we come back in our next time, we're going to be talking about we're going to be looking at the first video that covers the functions of the brain. We'll see you then.